All right, I am here in San Jose, California, and I am recording a video on how to change the front tire on a bicycle. I'm doing this for my daughter, who's in Colorado and had her first flat. So here are some things you're going to need. For the purpose of the video, I have an extra wheel that I'm going to use. So obviously you need a tire that has a flat. This is my Joe Blow pump, but I also have some tire irons to take the tire off. I have a patch kit. I have a hand pump, which I keep on my bike all the time. And then over here I have an extra tube. And the thing I like, this is called Rubber's patch kit, because it actually comes with an extra patch and sandpaper inside it. And what's nice about that is if you only have a flat with a small piercing, probably from a thorn or something, then you can just patch it and keep going and keep the inner tube for another time. Anyway, let's get down to what we need to do. First of all, you need to take the tire off of the front, and on the front and the back you're going to notice on your brakes this little lever right here. First thing you want to do is lift this lever up, and this expands the brakes, and so it expands the brakes. So you want to lift that up, and don't forget to put it back down after you put your tire back on. Then you need to remove your tire, and the way you do that is you take your lever here, and so here it is here, and then I'll come over here and you open it up, and then you're going to spin it, and you probably have to hold the other side to get to unspin. So you want to loosen this up. So by turning it counterclockwise, you loosen it, and then by holding the other side, it'll loosen up so that you get some space. Don't do it too much or it'll come apart on you, which you don't really want. But you'll notice there's a spring in here. There's a spring, and there's a spring, and so you want to do this. Then you want to hold up. Normally what I do is, if you're by yourself on the trail, you want to lift up, and then you want to just gently pull the tire down and off of the frame. Now, probably your bike has a latch, so the way that the frame is constructed is that it won't just drop straight out. You may have to wiggle it back a little bit, but make sure, pull this back, spin it so that it's loose, and the tires should come off. Then, if you're on the trail, you want to lay your bike down, and you always lay it on this side, which is the non-crank side, and just gently lay it on its side. Same thing if you're doing the rear tire, which is a whole other video just because of putting the rear tire back on, and it's hard to hold a camera and put a rear tire on. But what you want to do is you want to put it on the big gear on the front, and you want to put it on the smallest gear on the back before you take the wheel off, and it will make things a lot easier to get everything back on later on. That's if you're changing the rear tire. Alright, let's get to this. You take your patch kit, you can have a tube, and you'll see that one is the same as the other, and here you have your tire. So now I've got my tire irons, and what we'll do now is set this over here. Sorry for the poor quality. So now, if you have a little ring here, you don't need this. This is just something that they give you, but you take the ring off, and then this is the valve. Open up the valve and make sure there's no air left in it. Sometimes if it's a slow flat, there's still some pressure. I like to start on the opposite side of the valve. So this is the opposite side of the valve. The valve is directly below me. And then this is the lever side. It doesn't really matter what side you work on for the front. Some people have a preference. Remember too, while I'm thinking of it, that some tires are directional. This is a gator skin, and it has a direction. And so with the gator skin, this is going to be the left side if you're facing forward on the bike, and you can see the tread pattern and how it goes. It zips away. So you want to make sure that you remember that tires can be directional. Now, with this first one, we're going to go like this, and what you do is just with your fingers push away, and just gently, very gently, do this. While I'm thinking of it, these are only used for putting the tire on. You put the tire back on with your hands, or you'll break these, and it's just not good. Some tires, now watch this. This is only one lever. Sometimes you can go like this, but it's going back on. So what you can do is you get it off, and then that snaps in there like that. Then with this one, you just continue to pull the tire off. And there we go. So now I have one side of the tire off. Now the question is, do you need to take the entire tire off? With experience, no you don't. But there are different ways. The last flat I did on the trail, I had a small thorn that was easy to see right here. And I took one side off, and I was able to work the thorn out completely and pulled the thorn out. Then all I did was I pulled a small part of the tube off like this. I was able to get the tube out, and let me just do that. And what I did is I literally had this much of the tube out, and I put a little bit of air in it. I could tell where the hole was, and I actually patched it like this. But I've done a lot of flat repairs, and it worked. And you can do that too. Normally what you're going to do is pull the entire tube out very gently if you're going to repair the patch. If you're going to patch it and repair the puncture, and then work it out. Be very careful that you don't rip anything around the valve. Be very careful that you don't destroy the valve structure. And some patch kits have a little piece of chalk.